end mid-decade redistricting and make states adopt independent commissions to draw congressional lines in the future. Fox 40's Riley Carroll joining us now live in the studio with more on that. Hi, Riley.
Hi, Eric. So Senator Padilla says he's bringing up this legislation in response to what he is calling a quote-unquote dangerous time in our nation's democracy. He says Texas's push to redraw their congressional districts is setting a very bad precedent. Senator Alex Padilla's legislation would require every state to adopt independent commissions to draw new maps. It comes after Texas redrew its map to favor 5 Republicans at the request of President Trump.
We see MAGA Republicans in state houses across the nation literally saying, yes, Mr. Trump, whatever you want.
Padilla says that Republicans are trying to gerrymander because they can't stand behind their own record.
Failed tariff wars is increasing costs on everything from groceries to housing and more. And Republicans are scrambling to cover up the president's involvement with Jeffrey Epstein.
And in response to the Texas GOP effort, California will soon hold a special election, asking voters to temporarily suspend its own independent commission to redraw the map.
This is an emergency response to an emergency that Trump created.
But Padilla's is not the only redistricting-related bill in Congress. Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley is pushing to end mid-decade redistricting, too.
I do not support this mid-decade gerrymandering wherever it's occurring.
Kiley's bill has seen little movement in the House, despite his urging Speaker Mike Johnson.
Really unacceptable that the Speaker has allowed this to happen. It's certainly not standing up for what the members of the House want and what people across America want.
Kiley says he's generally supportive of the Democrats' bill and sees an opportunity to work with them.
Yes, I do. I think that this needs to be bipartisan.
And even though Senator Padilla said he wants to work with Republicans,
today we're offering Republicans this off-ramp. Let's come together behind the Redistricting Reform Act of 2025, a common sense solution to the partisan power grabs that we're witnessing.
Kiley says Democrats haven't reached out about it yet. So, Nikki, I wanted to take a second to actually ask you a question about this, because I found it a little bit confusing as I was doing some research and writing this story, because Senator Padilla is currently yes on Prop 50, yes on California voting to temporarily, redraw those districts to gain some Democratic seats. And so it sounds a little bit contradictory that he would be in the same sort of breath pushing legislation to end gerrymandering. So can you explain how he might say it's not hypocritical?
Yeah, so not only is he saying yes on Prop 50, he's appearing in a lot of the ads that you're seeing.
Yeah.
So I actually talked to him today for Inside California Politics that's going to air this weekend, and I asked him that question. I said, I understand you're pushing this redistricting legislation, and you mentioned in your story that Kevin Kiley has similar legislation too. Yeah. I said, what do you say to people who are watching this and saying, wait, this is sort of hypocritical? And he's like, it's a fair question. He's like, I understand people that might think that, but we are doing this in response to what Donald Trump is doing in Texas. We have to play in the arena that we're in right now, and instead of wishing how things would be, we have to fight back. So I am not in support of mid-decade redistricting, but we can't sit on the sidelines. What I want is this to go away altogether. If that could happen and it could cancel everything out, I would be in favor of that, but that's not the reality that we're living in, essentially.
Okay.
So it's interesting to see that, you have a Republican in Kevin Kiley who, could potentially lose his seat if these maps pass, and in terms of voter turnout and how this new district that we don't know what the makeup is going to be there. But yeah, he understood why people might be asking that question.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I think it's good because to the average voter and the average viewer, it sounds like it's really in the weeds and it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it does make sense, I guess, this sort of chicken and egg concept.
Yeah, and just to give a little bit, to tease this out a little bit more, I don't know if our viewers are going to be staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning, but we're going to be releasing some polling that we did exclusively with Emerson College, not only on Prop 50, but the governor's race. But it's interesting in some of the crosstabs where you look at where people stand in California, especially Democrats and older voters who don't like this at all. But when you look at the landscape of California voters and California versus the Trump administration, they're going to hold their nose and vote yes for that. So it's sort of when you get in the weeds and sort of look at things and how people feel, it's pretty interesting.
It'll be interesting to follow too.
So I hope I answered your question.
No, you did. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Eric, over to you.